America's favorite drive-in. And perhaps as far as I'm concerned, the drive of the game may be my drive home from Starkville to Tupelo. And hopefully it'll be an uneventful drive.
Jackie Sherrill ruled over the Texas A&M football nation for 7 years. His arrival at Mississippi State ushering in the most successful 10-year span for any head coach in Bulldog history. Tonight, Sherrill confronts his past, his own creation, the Aggies. In the process, he'll discover how far he's come and how far he has to go. And look at this, an unexpected winter wonderland right in the heart of Cajun country. Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's the Sanford Independence Bowl, the 5th meeting all time between Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones. From all of us here at ESPN to all of you at home, all the best in the upcoming new year, which now is just, well, a few hours away, depending on where you are. Now, Jackie Sherrill comes into this contest extremely motivated. Here's why. He would like to close out a chapter on his past. He used to be the head coach at Texas A&M for 7 seasons, winning 3 Southwestern Conference titles. His defensive coordinator at the time was R.C. Slocum. Now, Sherrill left A&M under a shroud of mystery, in his wake recommending Slocum for the head coaching job, which he was eventually awarded. So when he looks across the field today, Sherrill, Gino Torretta, kind of looks at himself in the mirror. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you
too, partner.
This is
not really about the coaches, though. It's about the players, correct?
And you know what? Both of these teams are going to think back to Y2K and say, this is the season that could have been. They were flying high in mid-season. Mississippi State beat Florida when they were the #3 team in the country, dominated them. The next week beat Auburn. And how about this for Texas A&M? They beat Kansas State when they were the #8 team in the country and watched an 11-point fourth-quarter lead against the #1 team, Oklahoma, evaporate.
So important for the coaches to press the right buttons today, especially with the weather. Speaking of the weather, guy down in the field, Rob Stone, trying to keep warm. Rob, what's up?
Yeah, there's an understatement, Mark. Both coaches readily admit that the main storyline coming into this game is Jackie Sherrill's first game coaching versus his old school. However, also admitted, and interestingly by Coach Sherrill, is that if he had to do the whole A&M situation over again, he would have handled it much differently.
I didn't have to leave, contrary to what people believe, and I left because of the loyalty, the compassion, a lot of things at that time that Texas A&M gave me. And no one's ever heard the truth. You know, you've only heard a third party, and you know, no one has the first party but myself. And you know, one of these days when I finish coaching, then I will, you know, tell that side in a book.
Now, Coach told me just before kickoff he actually has 3 working titles in store for his book. One is So You Want to Be a Head Coach. The other is Second Chance. And the third, he said, Rob, with a smile, I just can't tell you that one.
Right, Rob, and make sure you get all of us on the mailing list. Gino, some cogent points for today's game.
Well, Texas A&M, this is not your old Texas A&M team. They're going to open up the offense, and they're going to throw the football. And what do they have to do? Protect their quarterback Ferris if they're going to throw the football. In Mississippi State, who's bringing home the bacon? Pork Chop Womack, their left tackle, back in action. They lead the SEC in rushing per game, but Mark, they've given up 23 sacks this season.
Yeah, offensively an interesting contrast in styles. Look at the temperature. 28 degrees, wind chill is about 10 degrees, and the snow started about an hour ago and has not let up. We'll get more on that from Rob later regarding the field conditions. This is Larry Huntington for Mississippi State trying to get to the edge. And he is brought down near the 30-yard line. Starting quarterback for Mississippi State is Wayne Madkin, a 6'4", 227-pound junior, completing 56% of his passes on the season with 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. A look at the skill positions. DeCenzo Miller, their top rusher, number 12, one of the key people to watch out of the backfield, Gino.
And their center, though, Michael Fair, he is the key. Wayne Madkin, the quarterback, DeCenzo Miller, the tailback, and their center, Michael Fair, really the key to this ball game.
First down and 10 for Mississippi State. The first time in a long time that they have gone with the all-white uniforms. Williamson and Miller lining up out of the offset eye. The snap was mishandled. A&M recovers the fumble. An inauspicious beginning. The first play of the game, number 99, Ronald Flemings recovers the loose ball.
And Mark, we talked about the weather. It's snowing. This ball is hard. It's cold out there. Just the center quarterback exchange. Madkin doesn't come up with the football, and Ronald Flemings, the right defensive end, comes up with the ball, and that's a good thing he was tackled because he was off for 6 points.
An incredibly poor beginning for the Bulldogs on their first possession. And in comes quarterback Mark Ferris, number 10 right there for the Aggies, to lead their offense. Neither of these teams or programs is what you would describe as cold weather teams. First down and 10. Weber and Toombs lining up out of the offset eye. Carpenter in motion, and that's Jamar Toombs, the fullback, powering ahead for a couple of yards. There's a look at the starting quarterback, Mark Ferris, the sophomore, although he is 25 years old, 6'2", 206 pounds. A look at the skill positions. One of the guys to watch, Robert Ferguson, the team's leading receiver, and they will pitch and catch.
And they will throw the ball to Ferguson. He's about 90%. He's got 2 bad ankles, Mark. We'll have to check him in this cold weather. Maybe a little bit sore in this weather.
Yeah, he did sit out the Texas game, their last appearance. Toombs, again, straight ahead for about 3 yards, running behind this offensive line. McCauley, Valletta, McKinney, Yates, and Brooks.
And McKinney making his 38th straight start. He graduated in 3.5 years. He's a smart kid, and he gets this offensive line in the right place.
There's a look at the defensive front for the Bulldogs. Davis, Galladay, Blade, and Wims. Wims, the best pass rusher of the group.
And don't forget about Willie Blade. He was a semifinalist for the Outland Trophy this season.
Whitaker and Toombs lining up out of the eye on 3rd down and 4. To Ferguson, and he is close to the first down near the 10-yard line. Take a look at the linebackers for Mississippi State's defense. They play just 2 linebackers with 5 DBs. Hagan, a big surprise, just a sophomore. And there's a look at the DBs. Depth, a question mark there, Gino.
Depth, a question mark, but Josh Morgan, their free safety, he's going to blitz. He's going to be in a lot of tackles today.
Fred Smoot, their All-American, was declared academically ineligible a couple of weeks ago. Unable to play in this game. First down and goal to go for Texas A&M. Whitaker trying to get to the edge. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Richard Whitaker, the freshman, kicking in the turbo and finding pay dirt.
And Mark, Whitaker is their slasher type tailback, but take a look at this on the run. He takes the handoff from Ferris, and look at him tiptoeing, trying to keep his feet, and he does a good job of it and just barely gets the ball in inside the pylon.
A 9-yard touchdown run by Whitaker, outrunning Sean Birdsong into the end zone. And Texas A&M able to convert on that Mississippi State miscue, the fumble on their first series. Terrence Kitchens now in to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Wes Bodovich, and it's good. And the Aggies out of the Big 12 with an early 7-0 lead. Jackie Sherrill's team digging themselves an early hole. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the winter wonderland that is Shreveport, Louisiana. Conditions certainly having an effect on the footing of this game. The natural frosting today of my hair, courtesy of about over ½ inch of the snow in the last 45 minutes. Here's what the players are playing on. It's called Astroplay. It has tremendous feel. You can see I'm pulling it up off the surface. 100% synthetic surface. Underneath it, you have about 1.5 inches of these black chewed up rubber pellets. It has great give on the field, but how does it handle these conditions? Well, if it's raining, it can handle over 7 inches of rain an hour due to drainage. I asked the guy in charge of the field, that's great. How does it handle the snow? After a long pause, he just kind of looked at me and said, son, we don't get much snow around these parts. He has no idea how this field is going to handle, but I'm just glad I could be here to share this moment with him.
All right, Robin, we're glad that you have the right footwear today. You can see Whitaker on that last touchdown run tiptoeing his way around the edge, not wanting to fall down, keeping his balance. Skates kicking off. This is Huntington near the goal line. And Skates is pushed out of bounds near the 25-yard line by Chance Pierce. Take a look at the Mississippi State offensive line. A huge one led by Pork Chop Womack, number 76.
And he's back, but Michael Fair, the center, second team all SEC. He really kept this line together when Womack was out.
Texas A&M, meanwhile, plays a 3-4 alignment. To look at the front guys, Ronald Fleming's the one that recovered the fumble moments ago.
Mark, but Ron Edwards is really the key to this defense. He needs to play well and plug up that middle.
First down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Wayne Madkin in for his second series. Madkin has been bothered by a sinus condition all week. Missed practice a couple of days ago. Hands it off to DeCenzo Miller. Let's take a look at the linebackers, led by Brian Gamble, who made that tackle just on that play. Christian Rodriguez, Cornelius Anthony, and Roylyn Bradley, number 3.
And Brian Gamble, former high school quarterback, makes all the checks for this defense.
On the corners, the guy to watch is number 22, Sammy Davis. He's their top cover guy.
But look out for the free safety, Jamison. He's very active. He'll be in a lot of tackles. We may see him blitz a little bit.
Sammy Davis on the corner. It's lonely out there, especially in the snow. Second down and 11. Madkin keeps it himself.
And Mark, there's that added dimension that Wayne Madkin adds to this Mississippi State offense. He can run the ball. He's very athletic. Texas A&M on defense likes to blitz, likes to play a lot of man coverage. So look for that quarterback draw, maybe to be a factor, especially with the footing today.
Ball on the 30-yard line, and Gino, you can use your little telestrator there to circle that, because up here in the booth, folks, we'll be honest with you, we don't have a great vantage point with the snow down on the field. We're relying on our eyes down on the sidelines. Out into the flat, incomplete. Intended for Justin Griffith out of the backfield, and it'll be 4th down and 6 from the 30. Bradley in on the coverage, and Mississippi State will have to punt.
And Mark, anytime a quarterback is throwing the football in these conditions, the routes you like to throw are hitches and curls, because you can really drive the ball and really put a lot of mustard on it. You don't like to throw those little touch passes to the flat, because the wind and the condition can really take the ball and float it, maybe even cause an interception.
And Madkin, Gino, here in the first quarter, throwing into the wind. We have a timeout down on the field. Our official wearing the white hat today, Claire Cosman. We're going to take a short break and then come back to Shreveport.
Mississippi State chose to punt after the timeout, and the Aggies moved steadily downfield, setting up a first down and goal, where Jamar Toombs scored his second touchdown of the game. The extra point was good, and with 8:06 left in the first quarter, A&M had the lead 14-0. The Wrecking Crew defense held the Bulldogs scoreless for the remaining minutes of the first quarter. And as we return with 12:47 left in the second, the Aggies have the ball first down and 10 on their own 24-yard line.
Meanwhile, down on the sidelines, the coaches have their headsets and communication systems working once again. So Slocum and Sherrill with the headsets back on. First down and 10. Ball on the Texas A&M 24-yard line. Richard Whitaker and Jamar Toombs lining up out of the eye. Toombs has been the game's most effective and productive player so far. This is him again. Toombs picking up about 3. Coming out of that commercial break, you can probably tell that they swept off the hash marks. The officials know where to place the ball. Second down and about 7 to go. Mark Ferris, the quarterback for Texas A&M, a 25-year-old sophomore, completing almost 60% of his passes.
Mark, you want to play a little tic-tac-toe with my telestrator here?
Next play. Ferris hands off, a juggled handoff. Whitaker got about 1.
Here's the hash marks. Here's some yard markers. And go ahead, Mark.
I'll go there.
All right, I'll take the middle.
Take the corner.
All right, I got you beat, I think. Let's see. I guess I'll go here. All right, there.
To be continued.
Oh, you won.
The field looking like a grid once they clear out some parts of it.
Doesn't last long, though, because the yard markers are already covered back up with snow.
3rd and 3, incomplete. The Aggies will have to punt. It was intended for Bethel Johnson, number 9. Mississippi State now with an opportunity perhaps to get some good field position. They have the wind at their backs here in the 2nd quarter. They have yet to score. Ferris going to the sidelines, and Jackie Sherrill hoping to put on an impressive show against the school where he coached for 7 years, and against his former defensive coordinator R.C. Slocum. Cody Skates punting. Larry Huntington back deep for Mississippi State. Another low punt. That has been the norm tonight. And Mississippi State will start with its best field position of the night. What would make someone wear, well, nothing? How do you figure that one out?
He's not the medical school here at Texas A&M, I'm sure.
Dontae Walker deep back out of the eye. Madkin going up top. Incomplete. Intended for Jenkins.
Well, Mark and Gino, you guys had mentioned Madkin having problems holding on to the ball. During that last time out on the sideline, he came over and told the coach, hey, my hands are freezing. What they did is they gave him 6 of those little hand warmers, you know, the skiers use. He put them in his pocket, tried to warm up his hands, and the coaches told him, hey, just get closer to the center and just worry about just handling the snap first off and then deal with the play after that. And they've pretty much thrown out all shotgun formations because of the difficulty handling of snap.
It all starts right there, Rob. Good point. This time, though, they do take a chance, go to the shotgun, and Fair gets it back there. It is being ruled complete. They're going to call it a catch to Jenkins. He went right back to the same receiver. And Jenkins is 6 foot 1 inch redshirt freshman.
That's those little hitch passes that I told you I liked. But I tell you what, in this weather, these defenders know these receivers aren't going to run a lot of routes against them. Their passing tree, their route tree is really cut down with these conditions because of the footing.
Here in Shreveport, Louisiana, the Independence Bowl. Mark Jones along with Gino Toretta, Rob Stone on the sidelines. It is 14-0. Texas A&M out of the Big 12 South against the SEC West Mississippi State Bulldogs. Both teams coming in 7-4 on the season. Madkin. Incomplete. And now a late flag. It was intended for Huntington, who tried to make an adjustment on the ball. He was being blanketed by Sean Weston, number 31.
He was definitely being blanketed, Mark. Madkin throws this ball up, like we said, it's tough to throw, but watch the footing here. The adjustment, and Sean Weston just runs over the receiver, Huntington, and a good call by the official, pass interference.
Automatic first down for the Bulldogs. Gino, moving the ball and being successful on first down was something that they really wanted to accomplish, throwing especially on first down coming into the game.
And it's even more important now with these field conditions. If you can pick up a lot of yards on first down, then you can take some chances and throw the football down the field on 2nd and short. But if you don't pick up a lot of yards on first down, you're going to run it on 2nd and 3rd down again.
And the Bulldogs were also looking, you would think, to build up a little time of possession and keep that high-flying A&M offense off the field, even in these conditions, even though we didn't expect this kind of snow.
I don't know if there's going to be much high-flying offenses here today.
We've seen Madkin go to the air on a couple of occasions on this drive. First down and 10 for Mississippi State at the Texas A&M 45-yard line. Bulldogs showing their first 4 wide receiver set. Madkin goes back to the same guy, number 22, Huntington, and it's incomplete. Working on Weston once again. It'll be second down and 10.
And look at the teamwork there, trying to get all the snow off the footing. I think that the teams are making a big deal. Snow doesn't stick into your cleats. They're not used to playing on this surface. This is not grass. It's not going to be muddy. Their cleats aren't going to be full of mud and dirt. All that is a little bit of snow, and it'll come off as they run.
Throwback football. What do you know about snow, man? You're from Miami.
I grew up in Northern California. I didn't have to play in this stuff, but I snow skied in.
Forgot about the blizzards up there. On second and 10, it's Dontae Walker running over the left side of the line, which means he was following Pork Chop Womack and Courtney Lee, brought down by Robertson. Let's talk about Womack a little bit. He was injured, suffered a stress fracture in the LSU game, and this is his first game back. Says he's about 90%, which is 100% better than most offensive linemen.
And even though he missed half the season, Mark, he was all SEC voted by the coaches. So this kid is one heck of a left tackle. We'll get back to the stress fractures on how he actually.
Big gaping hole for Walker, and he could go. Touchdown, Dontae Walker.
Dontae Walker takes it open. A 45-yard Mississippi State touchdown.
A 45-yard burst, and the Bulldogs are on the scoreboard.
And Mark, we were talking about the left tackle, Pork Chop Womack, but that was the left guard, Courtney Lee, the 6'4", 350-pounder. Watch him pull around and lead the way for Walker. There's the block at the point of attack on Brian Gamble, and Dontae Walker's off to the races.
Walker with his 10th touchdown of the season. Came into this contest averaging 72 yards rushing per game. And the cool and calm demeanor of Jackie Sherrill continues from the sidelines. Westerfield in to attempt the extra point. Can't take anything for granted on the kicking game in these conditions. But Westerfield knocks it through. And Mississippi State has cut A&M's lead to just 7. We'll be back to the Independence Bowl in Shreveport right after this.
It happens.
Mississippi State on its last drive finally getting untracked.
And a big part of that was the pass interference call that kept their drive alive.
5 plays, 59 yards, using up 158 on the clock. Michael John Martin kicking off. Richard Whitaker back deep, and the cheerleaders, they haven't stopped either. Everyone's still at work, foraging ahead through the snow. Wayne Goins and the fellows who run the Dog Pound Rock, the special teams unit for Mississippi State, bring down Whitaker at the 20-yard line. 9:13 to play in the first half. A&M with a 7-point lead.
And it is starting to come down in the snow. I mean, it's very tough just to find the ball on this kickoff. Whitaker couldn't find it. I don't think you can see the ball until it's about 15 or 20 yards from him. Mark, this is northeast weather. This is not down in the south in Louisiana.
Usually see the likes of this kind of snow. The ball on the Texas A&M 25-yard line. Joe Weber alone back on first down and 10. 3 wide out formation. Ferris rears back. Almost picked off. It was underthrown. Marco Minor almost picked it off for Mississippi State, but there's a flag on the play. That pass by Ferris really hung up there. Interference against the defense. 14-7 for the Aggies. First down and 10. Texas A&M with the ball on their own 40-yard line. Jamar Toombs, the lone back. Toombs breaks one tackle. Right there, you see and capture the essence. You cut through to the soul of Jamar Toombs. He breaks tackles, give you a lot of yards, Gino, after the initial contact. Have a look.
And they ran the exact same formation, the wide receiver motion, the fake reverse, handoff to Toombs, and the first guy that hits Toombs is never going to take him down.
Galladay made the tackle. Second down and 3 from the Aggie 47. Toombs over the right side. Lucky to get maybe a yard that time. Let's go downstairs to Rob Stone.
And we're joined now by Paul Dontae, the president of the Sanford Corporation. And I'm sensing this is a Sanford Independence Bowl you won't soon forget.
This is incredible, Rob. You know, of course, we're getting all the blame being from Chicago. This is an everyday occurrence for us, so we're taking all the heat that we brought the snow with us. But, hey, we love it. It's a great night and a great event, and what better way to bring in the new year than a little snowstorm.
And it's not just you from the Sanford Corporation. You got a lot of other employees who are down here enjoying this winter wonderland.
We've got about 500 of our associates up in these stands that are covered in snow, and they're having a blast, and we're happy to be here, and we're looking forward to a great New Year's Eve.
Hey, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Blade making the tackle that time on Joe Weber. Birdsong also in on the stop. And it'll be fourth down for the Aggies.
What do you think, Mark? If we do a count on those 500 associates in the stands, you think there'll be 500 up there?
They either have blankets or they're in the warm part above us.
Actually, they're from Chicago, and they may be the only people in the stands that are dressed and brought the appropriate clothing for this weather.
Skates punting to Larry Huntington. Low line drive spiral. And Huntington's knee touched down at the 15-yard line. As the snow continues, the Weather Service said that it was going to hit about 6 o'clock Central Time. We're about 10 minutes late. We'll be right back.
Mississippi State drove to the A&M 47 before the offense stalled. And as we return, the Aggies have the ball second down and 9 from their own 6-yard line with 2:35 left to play in the half right here on ESPN Classic.
This is Richard Whitaker, brought down after a gain of about 2. And, you know, the two coaches are very competitive, Slocum and Sherrill. And when it comes to golf, well, here's what RC had to say.
We played. I won, and it'll kill him for me to say this on television, but I won. We played in Phoenix. We were at a function with the Fiesta Bowl. We played, and I won. Last time we played. Now, if we go into winning percentage, I'd be way down the pole.
RC wearing it like a badge of honor, Gino.
Well, he made it a point. He said, hey, Jackie's one of the few guys, he likes counting all his strokes every round. You know, us other coaches, we just go out and have some fun every so often playing golf.
Coach Sherrill is the one that keeps score. Ferris to pass. Brought down. Is it a safety? Not quite. Inches outside of his own end zone. The sack by Mario Hagan, right there, number 98. The big sophomore who lost 30 pounds since his freshman year, has tons of ability.
And Hagan, look at this. Ferris nowhere to go with the football. His protection breaks down. Look at, there's the goal line. He is back in the end zone. Hagan's got him in the grasp, and Ferris does a good job diving out of the end zone, keeping the ball out and avoiding the safety. But Mississippi State, because of that's going to come up with great field position, Mark.
With just 1:31 left in the first half. Mississippi State, though, Gino, out of timeouts. Cody Skates punting, and the shadows of his own goalposts.
And Mark, they're out of timeouts because early on, bowl games, his team has taken a month off. They had a special teams foul up. They didn't have the right personnel on a punt team. And now it may come back to haunt them. Here they have a minute 31. They're going to get the ball going in great field position with a timeout or two that really would extend this minute 31, but they don't have it.
Hindsight always 20/20, unfortunately, if you're Mississippi State.
And especially you have to keep the ball on the ground in these conditions.
You look at the A&M players all trying to get their footing because they know, well, they're thinking, maybe contemplating that the Bulldogs are going to come after them on this one. Both sides digging in the trenches.
Partially blocked.
Heavy pressure, and someone may have got a bit of it. Huntington in the middle of the field gives the Bulldogs tremendously good field position.
And the Mississippi State punt block team had great pressure up the middle and partially blocked this football. Watch the pressure up the middle. You see there you see just a hand come out of the left side of the screen.
Sean Birdsong may have gotten a bit. And the punter skates. He's live. He's in play.
A little bit of frustration trying to get down there and get in the middle of it, scrapping around a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line, the Aggies' 21-yard line for Mississippi State. Madkin on the quarterback draw. Nice gain. Close to a first down. Tackled by Bradley and Terrence Keel. They've got that center exchange worked out.
And look at the snow that's falling. There's hardly any. That's just the start of the game. Here's now almost at halftime. Plenty of snow accumulating. But Mississippi State, now they get the center quarterback exchange worked out. They empty the backfield right there, Mark, and went back to the quarterback draw.
Madkin, a very proficient runner. 1st and goal. Nice catch by number 85 on the play. That is Harold Lindsey, who laid out and made a great grab. He was working on Jay Brooks, the corner.
And Wayne Madkin puts this ball right on the sideline. But watch Lindsey come up with this catch and get his feet down and drag him inbounds. I think that's inbounds, don't you? You can't really tell what that sideline is.
Snow accumulating on the brim of Jackie Sherrill. 2nd down and 3 to go.
An empty backfield again, Mark. Look out for the quarterback draw behind Fair, the center.
4 yards shy of the end zone. Complete to Miller. Touchdown Bulldogs. A little screen on the pass. And they are 1 point away from tying this ball game up. Under a minute to play in the first half. It was all set up by the good field position after the punt.
And then they went the quarterback draw to Madkin, showed us he can run with it. And then what does he do here in these terrible conditions? Gets the center, throws a little wide receiver screen. Actually, it's a running back screen to DeCenzo Miller, lined up in the wide receiver slot. And the right tackle, Kendrick Fairchild, does a good job of blocking and breaking a hole open for him.
Westerfield in for the extra point. With 54 seconds to go. The holder on this play is the guy that just scored the touchdown, DeCenzo Miller, starting tailback. And we have a tie ball game with 54 seconds to play. Not often you see the tailback, the holder, on extra points. 3 plays, 21 yards on that drive, using up half a minute on the clock. And we have a tie ball game.
So much for me not saying they didn't have enough time on the clock to go down and score. They did a good job, picked up the first down. The clock stops. But let's take a look at the touchdown here. Here you see Miller. He's going to line up as a running back, but in the slot, takes 1 step up, just a wide receiver screen. There's the block, and look at the lane. Clear sailing, and the official, I think, is taking care of that last Texas A&M defender and not letting him get over and make the tackle.
All part of the playing field. Vincenzo Miller with 11 touchdowns on the season. Mississippi State now with 14 unanswered points, answering after that Texas A&M early 14-0 lead. The 25th edition of the Independence Bowl here in Shreveport. The temperature with the wind chill at about 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
And Mark, they had in the paper today all the memorable moments over the last 25 years. I think this game has to jump up close to the top just because of the conditions here today.
Oh yeah, this will be destined to be a storied chapter included in the past. I'm sure at halftime they'll do their best to take some of the snow off the field. How's he ball off the tee? He's going to kick it that side.
Wow. He missed it.
He whiffed.
He missed it. Great field position.
Not quite sure why they elected to kick it without using the tee. But as a result, Texas A&M with timeouts remaining.
And De La Torre, the backup tight end, recovered this. Look at the ball's not even on the tee. They try to kick it, just completely miss the ball. Look, there you see the tee and the ball next to it. And the kicker just completely misses it. And De La Torre, the third team tight end, comes up with that ball.
Didn't even go 10 yards, Gino.
And don't forget, Texas A&M has their full complement of timeouts. They have 3 timeouts left, a minute to go in the ball game. I got to say, Mark, I'm putting my big backs back in the backfield. Jones and Toombs, the tailback, and see if we can hammer it home.
54 seconds left in the first half. No mulligans on the kickoff. Ferris going up top. Touchdown, Ferguson.
And what do? Hey, I thought they'd go to Toombs running it, but a great call with the play action fake by the offensive coordinator, Steve Cragthorpe, but all set up by a botched kickoff attempt. Not on the tee. They go for the field goal, and De La Torre, the tight end, jumps on the ball. He's very aware. Here's the tight end, Ferguson, or the wide receiver, going down the sidelines. You see the defender slip. Ferguson does a great job of just catching the ball. Ferris is saying, hey, that's not the best throw in the world under these conditions, but heck, it's a touchdown.
Ferguson, who missed the season finale with injuries, coming back to score that touchdown for A&M. And that is the kicker, John Michael Marlin, who whiffed. Would have loved to have taken a mulligan on that kickoff, but instead it set up Texas A&M's touchdown. Aggies meanwhile call a timeout with only 10 men on the field for the extra point.
I'm not sure what the kicker was thinking there, why he didn't just put the ball back up on the tee.
Back in the snow in just a few, 20-14 when we return.
Women.
Back in Shreveport, Louisiana, after the extra point. Ferris was big on that last completion to Ferguson. Before that 42-yard pass, he was 2 for 3. And he missed the extra point. Kitchens misses the extra point. So the lead is 6 as opposed to 7. As I intimated earlier, you can't take anything for granted in the kicking game in this kind of inclement weather. The block, courtesy of Mississippi State.
And Willie Blade able to get his hand on the ball. He was a semifinalist for the Outland Award, does a great job penetrating that middle and blocking the extra point. It's early in the game, but who knows? Every point counts.
Jackie Sherrill, the winningest coach at Mississippi State in the school's history. This is his 10th season. Looking for their consecutive bowl win, second consecutive bowl win. And that last score of Texas A&M starting with the Marlin whiff. That ball went about 7 yards. Then in the very next play, Ferris drops back, and 42 yards later, Robert Ferguson making a nice little adjustment on the ball here. You know, you've often told me that the dangerous pass, the most dangerous one, is the underthrown deep ball, and then the partial block by Mississippi State on the extra point.
And really, the underthrown takeoff route is very hard to defend, especially in these field conditions, because it's slippery. We saw the defender. He had great coverage on Ferguson, not able to sustain his footing. The ball just falls right into Ferguson's arms.
Meanwhile, Texas A&M maybe haven't learned a lesson from the Mississippi State miscue using the tee on the kickoff. Cody Skates to kick off. And he squibs it. This is Huntington. Huntington tiptoeing his way down the sidelines in good field position, but there's a flag down in the play. Skates, the kicker, making the tackle. Mississippi State is out of timeouts. See what this flag is about. One more look at that nice kick return by Huntington.
And the play will stand. It's offsides on the kicking team, Mark.
The penalty, of course, declined by the Bulldogs. So with 36 seconds remaining in the first half, Bulldogs trailing by 6. They have the ball in Texas A&M territory.
And last drive, they scored in 31 from about the same position.
Ball is on the Aggie 36-yard line after that 42-yard return by Huntington. We've already seen a couple of touchdowns in the last minute. The Bulldogs do have the wind at their back should they elect a field goal at the end of this drive. Madkin to pass. And losing valuable yardage on the sack. Ron Edwards providing the pressure for the Wrecking Crew defense. Don't forget, coming up next on the Dodge Halftime Report in just a few moments, news from the Orange Bowl, the Outback Bowl preview, and action from the NFL playoff seat. Mississippi State, no timeouts remaining. It took a long time to get that play off. Complete to Miller. Senzo Miller lunges forward, slipping and sliding down to the 20, brought down by Cornelius Anthony.
It happens in the parking lot when you're parked on the street.
Welcome back to Shreveport, Louisiana for the 2000 Independence Bowl. Mississippi State kicked off to start the second half, but got the ball back when Texas A&M's Richard Whitaker fumbled on a 3rd down and 9 play from the A&M 13. Now, with 14:06 left in the third, Mississippi State is facing 2nd down and 15 after a bobbled snap here on ESPN Classic.
Ariel Hagan just recovering a fumble from Mississippi State moments ago, deep in Texas A&M territory.
Both teams turning it over and giving the opponent great field position, Mark.
2nd down and 15. Deep in Aggie territory. To the corner. It's DeCenzo Miller, roughed up out of bounds. Cornelius Anthony couldn't stop his momentum, and there's a late flag, which might be roughing.
I tell you what, it's going to be a late hit on Cornelius Anthony, but I don't know if you can call this. I'm not sure, Mark, that Anthony even sees the sidelines. He's trying to knock the running back, DeCenzo Miller, out of bounds, and I'm not sure he even sees where the out-of-bounds marker, or can he even keep his feet to pull off of Miller and not hit him.
We went through a situation like this a little over a month ago at a game in Colorado Springs, an Air Force game, and it is difficult to see the boundaries. You can't see the sidelines except for maybe the pylons in the end zone. And neither can the players. You think you have the sideline as an extra man defensively when you really don't. First and goal nonetheless. Ball on the Texas A&M 5. Miller. Just short. Inches from the goal line. Hard running by DeCenzo Miller. Behind the big uglies up front.
And Porkchop saying, hey, run at my side. Look at him. Just wall off the left side of the line. He's not letting his man get anywhere near the play. And Porkchop saying, hey, coach, I'm back. Run at my side. I'm not sure these officials could even see the goal line for his score.
From the A&M 1, second and goal. Dontae Walker. Still no signal. They're not going to give it to him. It'll be third down and goal to go. The wrecking crew bracing its back collectively.
Look at Porkchop getting in there and getting low, trying to get his pads down. And Miller tries to follow him. But the Texas A&M defense does a great job of penetrating, getting to his feet, not letting him drive his legs and dive in for the score.
Porkchop making pancakes. It's third and goal. The pancake block right there. Full house backfield. That time they got in. Walker. And we are knotted at 20 apiece. Dontae Walker with his second touchdown of the ball game.
And Mark, who's in behind? The left side, and Porkchop Womack getting down low and giving Miller enough to get in for the end zone. There you see the official saying, hey, I'm not sure I can see the line, but it looks to me like it's 6 points.
The brim of Jackie Sherrill's cap is now clear. No doubt a function at halftime. We're tied at 20. Remember, the reason why we're tied is because the extra point was missed by Texas A&M at the end of the first half. This is Scott Westerfield. He hits this one through. And Mississippi State has its first lead of the night. Through the snow and through the uprights is Scott Westerfield, giving the Bulldogs a 1-point advantage. The fourth quarter is paramount for Mississippi State. In their losses this year for them, they've been outscored 51-7. They've had some late meltdowns, including in overtime. Ferris passing. Complete to Johnson. One man to beat. Touchdown Aggies. They can pound at you or they can hit you with the quick strike. Right there, they hit the Bulldogs with the ladder.
Mark, this is all the field conditions here because Ferris throws a simple hitch route and watch his receiver. He just changes his footing. The defender is frozen. He doesn't know which way he's going. And look at that. There you see he's off to the races, able to score the touchdown. Bethel Johnson. Look at that, 22 consecutive games. He's only played 22 here, and he's got a catch in every single one of them, averaging over 10 yards a catch, and that's his first touchdown this season.
Good for 35 yards, and Gino, they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Just as we mentioned, the fourth quarter meltdown by Mississippi State, they give up a touchdown. And they'll convert the 2 points. Toombs with the block and Whitaker with the run. Richard Whitaker gives Texas A&M a 28-21 lead. A little counter. Productive play for the Aggies. They lead when we come back. Guys on the sidelines, some of the security and police here hanging tough through the snow. Texas A&M leading by 7. Mark Jones, Gino Toretto, Rob Stone here in the snow with you. Cody Skates to kick off. Back deep, it's Larry Huntington and Dontae Walker. This is Huntington, and with the treacherous footing, his knee touches, and that's where they'll mark it. Let's go back to the last touchdown. Speaking of traction, Gino.
Mark Ferris sees the blitz, audibles to the quick hitch pass. Bethel Johnson, look, the defender slips, but then Johnson lets him stand up. He freezes him with a little juke move, and there you see he'll run right by Kendall Roberson, and there you see he just sprints to the end zone, and the safety, Eugene Clinton, not able to get over there in time to stop the touchdown.
When you said he froze Roberson, no pun intended, right?
No pun intended.
Okay, just want to make sure. Dontae Walker in the backfield, the deep back out of the eye behind Kenny Williamson. The Bulldogs still having problems closing games out. Walker gains 2 on the play. Brought down by the safety, Michael Jameson. Time now for our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter storyline of the game. And the prevailing theme, Dontae Walker's running from Mississippi State. And on the other side of the ball, the same for Jamar Toombs.
Look at the discrepancy in passing yardage, all because of 2 big plays, all set up because of the field conditions.
This is the defensive back's worst nightmare, isn't it?
Quarterbacks, too. It's tough to throw the ball in there.
5 on the play clock, and Mississippi State unable to get the play off. They slept on the clock that time. It's going to cost them. There you go. Sherrill is the winningest coach in Mississippi State history, here taking on the team, the program, the school where he used to coach. We spoke with him this week. You just got the feeling that nothing would be sweeter for him than a victory here on New Year's Eve. We'll be right back after this. Along with Gino Toretto. Gino, how does Mississippi State get back some of that momentum now in the 4th quarter?
Well, the only reason they've had success is running the football behind Pork Chop Womack, and they have to start doing it here.
They have the ball right now as we get set to play 2nd and 8. Deep in their own territory, Madkin keeps it himself after faking the handoff to Williamson. Gains about 3 or 4 on the play. Brought down by Ron Edwards. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 to go.
Look at the big discrepancy in passing yards. Mississippi State, like I said, they have to continue to run the football, but they can't get those penalties early on. Like we said earlier, success on 1st down has been the key for them to keep the ball on the ground.
From their own 11-yard line, the quick slant, incomplete by Madkin. Intended for Walker out of the backfield. It'll be 4th down and 6. That one a drive killer for the Bulldogs.
And Texas A&M is almost guaranteed to have this ball on Mississippi State's side of the field after this punt.
The wind, which was at Mississippi State's back to begin the 3rd quarter, is not anymore. A low line drive punt, not a great effort. Jones lets it stop on Mississippi State's side of midfield. And as you intimated, Gino, good field position for the Aggies.
And only a 28-yard punt. Prentice Cole, the punter, We talked about the footing. He slips and barely gets that ball off.
You know, we asked the former baseball player Ferris whether he'd rather throw for a 99-yard touchdown bomb or hit a home run in Yankee Stadium. Here's what he had to say.
To me, there's nothing like football. There's nothing like the excitement that goes along with it, and that's part of what I missed when I was playing baseball, because baseball, there's so many games, and the games kind of run together, and it's just all a blur. But football, every game, there's so much build-up around every game, and it's really a big deal. That's what makes it special.
So he'd rather throw for the long bomb touchdown. Gino, I'm sure you'd agree with him on that.
I definitely would.
Look at some of the people who have played quarterback in college football after baseball careers, minor league baseball careers. Ferris, we all know about Chris Monkey and Josh Booty, who was in the Florida Marlins chain.
And don't forget Greg Porter, their big, tall, wide receiver. He was a third-round pick for the Reds, opted to go straight to college. He now plays for the A&M baseball team as well as the football team.
And Chip Amherst, who is in the Blue Jays system, is someone who R.C. Slocum has recruited and no doubt will be keeping in touch with. Toombs between the tackles, gaining about 2. Mark Toombs has done yeoman work for Texas A&M.
And Mark, we talked about the meltdown in the fourth quarter for this Mississippi State ball club, and this does not bode well with the great field position that A&M now has.
Jackie Sherrill's team looking for their second consecutive bowl win. Last year winning the Peach Bowl. The ball on the Mississippi State 33. 3rd down and 4 for the Aggies. They switch up the tempo this time. Run it to the perimeter where Richard Whitaker has the first down. Tackled by Josh Morgan. They move the chains with 11:33 remaining in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up next, Sports Center, Reese Davis and Dan Patrick will give you the stories from the Broncos and Ravens game, the Bucks and Eagles game as well, and a reflection and images, indelible ones, of the 2000 year in sports. What do you think about the year gone by in sports, Gino? What do you think of?
What do I think of?
Yeah.
Being with you all year.
Hey, I'm flattered.
It's been a special year for me.
I'll buy you some dinner after the game. Jones and Toombs in the backfield. Toombs breaking several tackles, gaining about 7. And A&M playing a little ball control now. Birdsong making the tackle with Morgan.
Look at Toombs here going over the right-hand side. Great job by A&M getting a hat on a hat. All the Mississippi State defenders are brought down. Big pickup, 8 yards.
I think back in the year 2000, I think of some of the turnarounds in college football. South Carolina, Lou Holtz, job by Dennis Erickson, your former coach at Oregon State. 2nd down and 2 from the Mississippi State 19. They just get the playoff. Toombs chopped down. Nice tackle coming off the strong safety for support is Eugene Clinton, number 14 for the Bulldogs. There's a look at Clinton, who made that last tackle.
We talked about the fourth quarter meltdown already. Texas A&M already scored once in this fourth quarter. Looks like they're going in for another score. Mississippi State, the fourth quarter, has not been kind to them this year.
It really showed in the last game they played against Ole Miss. But in fairness to them, part of that problem has been compounded by their lack of depth and some injuries and some situations they've had in their secondary. Toombs again. And after a while, Clinton making the tackle, you would think, Gino, that when you've got 260 pounds hammering at you on every play, that's got to wear the defense down.
Oh, definitely does, especially a Mississippi State ball club that plays 5 defensive backs every snap. So they're in nickel coverage every snap, where a lot of the times teams will mostly only have 4, sometimes go to 3 if they're going to face a ball club that's going to run the ball as much as Texas A&M is right now.
The ball is on the Mississippi State 13-yard line. Toombs. Touchdown, Toombs. pounding away inexorably and invariably the unstoppable, undeniable Jamar Toombs.
Mark, credit the offensive line for Texas A&M. That was the right guard, Billy Yates, and the right tackle, Taylor Whitley. There you see the fake reverse. Toombs just follows his blockers, and there you see he's not even touched till he's 10 yards down the field and able to barrel in for the score.
13 yards in all for Jamar Toombs on that run. And he has rushed the ball today 30 times for a total of 160 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Terrence Kitchens now in for the extra point for the Aggies, as they have taken a 14-point lead. They have outscored Mississippi State 14-0 in this period. Number 5 is alive for the Aggies. We'll be right back to Shreveport after this.
Welcome back to Shreveport, Louisiana. With the Aggies moving up into a 14-point lead, the Mississippi State coaches sensing that his team is starting to panic and lose their confidence. All the coaches coming around, slapping them on the back, saying, guys, come on, we're still in it, let's get it going. However, on the offensive side, they're having some communication issues, especially in the huddle. Wayne Madkin, the quarterback, came over to his offensive line and said, guys, you've got to get in the huddle immediately. Let's get together, let's get these plays in, and let's get it going. And obviously now they got the clock fighting against them as well.
Yeah, Rob, you know, that problem showing when they've had several delay of game penalties today.
They had to waste some timeouts early in the first half because of it.
Huntington still on his feet. Nice return by Huntington out near the 45-yard line.
Let's go back and take a look at this right side of the line. Here's the center, the right guard, Billy Yates, and the right tackle, Taylor Whitley. Look at the wall there that they give Jamar Toombs. Look, he's got everywhere to go. The defender, the safety, tries to come up, makes a play, slips, bad footing, able to get in for the score. The offensive line doing a super job tonight.
Well, it's not Doomsday, but it is Toomsday as we approach 2001. 30 carries, 160 yards. An integral part of their offense tonight. Not to mention some of his blocking, Gino.
Integral. He is their offense.
Under the lights and in the snow, Mark Jones, Gino Toretta, Rob Stone down to the sidelines here at the Sanford Independence Bowl. And Coach Slocum, his heat is cutting right through these frigid temperatures. There was a hold against the Aggies on that last play. And that's why he's upset.
I think I'd say he's a little bit more than upset, Mark.
That's as animated as I've seen him in a while. You know, one thing we haven't talked about, these bowl games are important in the respect that it gives you a lot of momentum going into next year in spring workouts.
It does that, but it also gives you about 15 to 20 extra practices, so it's like an extra spring ball. So for these young players, it gives you a lot more time to practice. That looks like a late hit by the Mississippi State
Miller
defender, but going back to our point, Mark, it gives you 15 extra practices. You can really get the younger players that are going to need to step up the next season, give them extra practice time and see how they are going to react to the pressure.
And these bowl games important with respect to finality, for the seniors on both sides of the ball. They will be judged and remembered for this last game that they've played. Jackie Sherrill's team, meanwhile, trailing by 14. And Michael Fair, the center for Mississippi State, confirmed what we had thought about the extra practice time. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I was on a winning team last year in the Peach Bowl, and you wouldn't think so being so far apart, but it really has a lot of momentum going to the next year. It'll help Mississippi State, in recruiting and a lot of things like that, and you can really feel the momentum coming off a win on your last ball game during 2 days.
Fair, a player that knows all about hard work, did a lot of work on his dad's cotton farm down in Mississippi. Penalty was against the Aggies. Madkin fires complete. Out of the backfield is Donald Lee, making his first reception of the game. And a first down for the Bulldogs deep into Texas A&M territory.
What happens when you have to run the ball essentially every down? It opens up the play action. Madkin did a great job there of making the fake, and Donald Lee, a young 6'4", 235-pound sophomore. The coaches say he's very good, but a little raw.
The ball on the 29-yard line of Texas A&M, 1st and 10. Flags on the play.
Dontae Walker there. He's not on the punt.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, 5 yards. Remains first down.
Once again, some communication problems for Mississippi State offensively.
And I think that was on Lee, the young, talented sophomore tight end. Coaches really like his ability. This is where, hey, it's crunch time. We're in the 4th quarter. We can't have any penalties.
Mississippi State said coming into this game, you know, this is personal for us. We want to show that we can get to where Texas A&M is. We're an up-and-coming program. Gaping hole for Walker. Dontae Walker, touchdown.
Dontae Walker takes it the distance.
And the Bulldogs are right back in it.
A 33-yard Mississippi State touchdown.
Dontae Walker with another touchdown for the Bulldogs. And they trail by 8. A 32-yard run.
Watch this Mississippi State offensive line. They come off the ball and give Walker. Look at the cut back lane there. No Texas A&M defenders in sight. And there you see Walker just turn on the jets and get in for the score.
Walker, one half of that running back tandem that gives the Bulldogs a great change of pace.
He's saying, what 4th quarter meltdown?
Scott Westerfield heating it up. And they trail by just 7 with plenty of time remaining on the clock. The Bulldogs looking for their 2nd consecutive bowl victory. We'll be right back.
Texas A&M continues to lead 35-28 and has the ball 2nd down and 10 on their own 6-yard line with 3:49 left to play in the 2000 Independence Bowl right here on ESPN Classic.
2nd down and 10 for Ferris. Toombs and Jones behind him out of the eye. Toombs mishandled the snap, got it back. And Mississippi State's defensive front really starting to rise to the challenge. Once again, Willie Blade, who is one of their MVPs defensively today, Gino.
Oh, he's unbelievable, Mark. He's been in every single play this season. 14 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. Watch Blade just knife through. There you see, he just swim move. He's right in Toombs' face, not giving him anywhere to go. Lets his defense rally around behind him. Man, he is a player, big-time player.
Ball at the A&M 6, 3rd down and 10. Bulldogs bring pressure. Picked off. It is intercepted by the Bulldogs. Number 23, Marco Minor, with a major play in the game. And the Mississippi State defense comes up. Marco Minor, the man filling in for the All-American, Fred Smoot, played this one like an All-American himself.
Minor's going to get credit for the interception, but Dorsett Davis should get half of this interception because he's right in quarterback Mark Ferris's face. Ferris really just trying to get rid of the football here at the last second, and Marco Minor able to step in front of the receiver and make a big-time interception.
With under 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 1st and goal. His first pick of the career. From the A&M 4. The toss to Walker. Stopped cold near the line of scrimmage is Dontae Walker.
Dontae Walker, the ball carrier.
Second down and goal for the Bulldogs. They trail by 7 points.
Cornelius Anthony.
They have one timeout remaining.
And Mark, I tell you what, at the start of that play, I was just thinking, all A&M doesn't need is an interception or a fumble, and sure enough, the Mississippi State defense comes up huge. Here's the goal line. We only got about 4 yards to go, and it's a tie ball game, folks.
Second down and 3. Griffith, the fullback. They run the ISO. Walker stopped up again. The wrecking crew comes up big. It'll be third down and goal to go. Bradley leading the charge. Royland Bradley in that 3-4 alignment for the Aggie wrecking crew defense.
The front three, though, Ty Warren, Ron Edwards, and Ronald Fleming doing a great job here. I tell you what, Mark, I know where I'm going with the football. I'm giving it to Dontae Walker, and I'm going over my big left tackle, Pork Chop Womack, to get this ball in.
Ball on the 3, third and goal. They go to the air. Touchdown. The tight end, Donald Lee, wide open. So after 2 consecutive runs, they switch it up and go to the air.
What a call there. A tight end screen. Donald Lee right in the middle of the field. Watch the blitz. A&M comes on the all-out blitz. The tight end shows block. There you see just the tight end middle screen wide open in the middle of the field.
Scott Westerfield now
a little shaking. Shaking fast.
Oh, he showed you what he was working with that time. The all-important extra point.
Only his second touchdown on the year. He only had 19 catches this whole season. None bigger than that.
Westerfield out of the hold of Miller. And we have a tie ball game. A couple of coaches intertwined through their history. Sherrill used to have Slocum as his defensive coordinator. The past against the present. R.C. Slocum might be thinking about, might be having flashbacks of that Oklahoma game where they had the game won before Ferris threw a late interception which cost them. Same situation here. Whitaker returns the kick. Moments ago, here's what transpired. Mississippi State making the play that counted.
Pressuring Ferris, and here you see the young Marco Minor step in front of the wide receiver, come up with the interception that leads to the tight end screen. What a super call by Sparky Woods, offensive coordinator. I thought, hey, he's going over the left side behind Pork Chop Womack and running the ball, but no way. We change up pitch for him.
Hey, in this weather, to have 10 touchdowns, which by the way is a combined Independence Bowl record. Who would have ever thought when this game kicked off? First down and 10. Ferris in the flat. And the defense has come alive. Toombs hit hard by Stevens. Connor Stevens, the 6'4 junior, making the tackle on the play. For little or no gain. The 35 points by Mississippi State is the most in a bowl game. As we approach 1 minute to go. On 2nd and 14, Toombs on the screen. Stopped up again. Near the line of scrimmage. Stevens again. 49 seconds to play.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I can tell you what R.C. Slocum's thinking. Can I stop this bleeding? This Mississippi State defense, they smell blood right now, and they're really going after this A&M offense.
The Aggies with 2 timeouts remaining. Mississippi State with 1. Ball on the Texas A&M 16-yard line. This no doubt will be a storied edition, a historical edition of the 25th Independence Bowl. Tied at 35. Stopped is Whitaker. 9 seconds to go in regulation time.
It's going to be a timeout by Mississippi State, I believe. They're going to make Texas A&M punt this football and see if they can get a decent return and maybe score in the last 9 seconds.
Huntington has done yeoman work on punt returns so far tonight.
Guys, A&M's long snapper, Chance Pierce, dislocated his left ring finger, snapping an extra point. He's out. In number 69, Don Mulback. He's only snapped a few times this season, just a little versus Colorado, but that is it, and what a huge snap this one is for him right now.
Yeah, Rob, the last one went wide right, and Cody Skates made a great play to haul in that errant snap.
Well, this one better not go wide right because Skates is standing on the goal line.
It's perfect. And Skates gets off a high punt. Huntington out of bounds with no time remaining, and we will go to overtime. What better way to cap off the year 2000 for both these crews than to decide it with an extra period. We'll be back in just a minute. Texas A&M and Mississippi State deadlocked at 35 apiece after regulation play. I'm Mark Jones, along with Gino Torretta and Rob Stone. The night started in a driving snowstorm, and Texas A&M jumping out to a 14-0 lead. Jackie Sherrill's team rallying late in the fourth quarter, showing a lot of guts, a lot of temerity to tie this game after trailing by 14 points. And that's where we are right now, tied at 35 apiece. Dontae Walker has been the focal point running the ball for Mississippi State. For Texas A&M, it's been Jamar Toombs. And this is just the third bowl game ever, Gino, that has gone to overtime.
But Mark, the third time this season Mississippi State has gone to overtime, and their previous two, both losses.
They've been outscored 14-0 in overtime so far this season. And come back late in the fourth quarter. Here's a look and review of the overtime rules. Coin toss for choice of the offense, defense, or end of the field. If you win it, each team gets a possession from the opponent's 25 per overtime until the winner's decided.
And really key to win the coin toss, because whoever wins is going to go on defense. Let the other team's offense go on. Then they know if they need to score a touchdown or just field goal to tie the ball game.
Captains at midfield for the coin flip. Make sure they can find it through the snow. Mississippi State
won the toss and we'll play defense.
And we'll be back and have it for you. We go to overtime. The Bulldogs and the Aggies in a minute. Louisiana, the 25th edition of the Independence Bowl. Texas A&M, meanwhile, trying to snap a 3-game bowl losing streak. And they go to work on offense from the Bulldog 25. Toombs in the backfield. Taylor in motion. Toombs. Toombs diving for the pylon. Touchdown on the first play.
Jamar Toombs of Texas A&M.
Mark, A&M comes out with an imbalanced set, and Billy Yates, the right guard, and right tackle Taylor Whitley do a great job of coming off the ball. And look at that one play. Here you see the handoff, and look at Toombs follow his blockers. They just maul the Mississippi State front four, and there Toombs showing the good size and great speed diving in.
Toombs has rushed 35 times. 35. That's a workhorse effort
Don't forget, this is not a given here, this extra point.
Kitchens to attempt the extra point. Edging Toombs, back to him for a minute. He's run for a total of 193 yards, 3 touchdowns. One of those backs that gets stronger as the game progresses. Everyone talks about Texas A&M's ability to pitch and catch and throw the ball around now, but you know what? They can play smash mouth when they need to.
Well, it's not too shabby when you got a fullback averaging 5.5 yards a carry in a bowl game.
We'll do it again. Kitchens out of the hold of Bodovich. They've missed one, remember, tonight. And this one's blocked. And he laterals it. Into the end zone. Julius Griffin. Good for 2 points.
The penetration. And guess who it is? The big play defensive tackle, Willie Blade, 6'2", 320, knifes through the front 4 again. And look at the toss play, the pitch. There's the 2-point conversion. Now it's only a 4-point ball game. Hey, a touchdown wins for Mississippi State.
You know, Eugene Clinton was the one that made the lateral. And then from there, it was... Man, what a big play.
He's getting the credit, but I tell you what, you better give the game ball to Willie Blade. Watch him just knife through, blocks this kick. There's no chance that kick's going to get off. There you see Clinton with the toss there at the end to Griffith.
Julius Griffith, and now with a score here, instead of tying it with a touchdown, they win it. Madkin has a whole bunch of real estate. Madkin inside the 10, brought down by Jamison. If Mississippi State scores a touchdown here, it's over. They win. And Jackie Sherrill would have a win over the team he coached for 7 years. And the man who was his defensive coordinator during that time, R.C. Slocum. And this, his first meeting against his former team, Texas A&M.
And Jackie Sherrill made no bones about it. Hey, this game is very, very important to me personally.
An incredible turn of events in this, the extra period. Implausible, maybe. Improbable, maybe. First and goal. Walker stopped cold. And it's second down and goal. The last time they were in this territory, it was 2 runs that got stopped up, and then it was the tight end, Donald Lee. Donald Lee caught the touchdown pass. He was wide open. Second down goal from the Texas A&M 6.
They gave us a little change-up call the last time in here with the tight end, like you said, Mark. And now it's going to be shotgun, so it looks like you're going to throw the ball. The clock's running down. They better get the snap off.
And they barely get it off. Madkin. Touchdown! The Bulldogs win it!
The quarterback draw has been run 3 times, and 3 times it's worked. And the last one, nothing more important than OT in the score.
The mentor beats the pupil. Sherrill defeats RC. And for the Bulldogs, their 2nd consecutive bowl victory. For Slocum, their fourth consecutive bowl loss. The Capital One player of the game, Willie Blade from Mississippi State. And they are rocking to the Dog Pound Rock.